inside Mata and Carl. Getting the bear exit, and both of them spun simultaneously. Taking it to the Camel straight, still going side by side as well. Side by side into the Curva Grande. Are they going to keep it side by side with Iceman? Yuri going for the dive bomb. Can he make it work? He's gone off a bit. And look at that. Oh, right here, right now. Otherwise, the undercut will not work. It's going to be very, very close. Iceman just gets ahead of Kyle there. Mata comes across the line, and he's your VSL Season 6 champion. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 7. This is round number 5, and we head to a circuit where Jenson Button won in 2011 in dramatic fashion. It's a Canadian Grand Prix, and yes, I am back after a week off. Hopefully you missed me. If not, then tough. My name is Jess, and joining me in the commentary box is Remnat. How you doing?
How do you do? It's nice to have you back, Jess. I'm doing very well, thank you. How is you?
Great to get some action around Canada. First using Formula 1 in 1978. It was actually named by Jules Villeneuve, who actually won many times around here as well. And plenty of drivers who I think could potentially do well around here. Iceman as well set the flat record around here out of all the drivers. But you never know, there could be some last minute surprises. We have one reserve in tonight, and that is Vitinho in the Red Bull. I can't remember who he's replacing. He's replacing Yuri tonight, so as Yuri can't make it. But apart from that, we have all other drivers here. I think we're missing one other driver tonight. I think there's none of the reserves can make it, but we are starting with a dry qualifying session, which is a relief. It's a short lap, which we could expect to be high 108s, high 109s, and the infamous Wall of Champions is going to be in everyone's minds tonight. In particular, Mata, who won VSL last season.
Indeed. I've just had some insight looking at the chat, and they're saying it is going to be a wet race.
Ooh.
So I doubt we'll see any medium runners, but I think the driver we're missing tonight is Jamie, isn't it? That's the one full-time driver not got here tonight, is it?
I think it might be Jamie. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but hey ho, 19 drivers, still a good amount of drivers to entertain us with tonight as well. So after last week, we saw Sam, that's leading the championship. We'll go through the championship standings. During our 2-minute breaks, obviously the drivers can't ready up at that time anyway. So a few other corners to watch out for as well. The hairpin is Carl is demonstrating right now into turn 10 and 11. We've seen quite a few incidents in the past around here in some VSL races as well. You could lose the rear of the car around here, especially on the curbs as well. So we'll see how many drivers fare that tonight. And yeah, nobody is on the medium. So even if you didn't tell me what the weather was going to be, I would have predicted it was going to be a wet race even with those. But if it was going to be a dry race, it would have been a 2-stop, soft, medium, medium. One stop is just not viable around it, even though they can do one stop. It's a lot faster. Car's already in the wall in turn 2 and turn 2. So the person I went on board with has binned it. So let's go on board with someone else.
Fantastic start, Kyle. Well done indeed. But I'm gonna be honest with you and everyone watching. This is the first time I've actually seen this track on the F1 2021 game. So it's going to be interesting. Interesting to see how the curbs are like at the last chicane, the famous Wall of Champions. So who's going to be a champion and bin it in the wall? Kyle did it the wrong wall, so he's not a champion, I'm afraid. Sorry to let you down, Kyle.
Well, he's not even a VSL champion, so technically he's not a champion.
Yeah, who needs Jacko card champion when you can be a VSL champion?
Exactly, there we go. The banter is already happening on stream, folks. It is quite cool like that. It is quite cool. So, Deck is starting his lap as well, and I think we got another Aston Martin starting his lap. So, 1:10.3 for Deck, and then we got Risky that just set a lap time 1:09.871. So we're getting close to the time predictions that the drivers have been practicing. We've got an Alfa Romeo of Hayden. The first time I've seen him in a while going in, he has unfortunately invalidated. We have got Pete coming across the line. He has not invalidated, but he can't. 10.000. And he is on the mediums. Okay, so that's interesting that 3 people have gone out for the mediums. Did they check the weather forecast maybe? Or
I mean, my intel came from Patino. It says wet race. So I don't know if that's interpreting that it's going to be wet like after the race start, but there is 100% chance of rain.
Hayden said it in the YouTube chat there was going to be a full wet race. So if Patino and Hayden both say it was going to be wet, then I think we strongly believe that both of them. Remember 2011 where it was changeable conditions there as well. And literally anyone could win that race. I'm sure we're going to have something similar here today as well. There's been further modifications to this circuit in recent times. Initially, the pits was located directly after the hairpin at the north end of the course, but then they had to move it and a new pit facilities was built there. And then further modifications to the final chicane before the new pit was conducted after Derek Warwick crashed heavily during practice for 1988 race. And then in 95, the heightened safety consciousness post-center death era, they had to change quite a few things there as well. And there was more change in 2002 where the turn 10 hairpin was also taken further back towards the turn 8-9 chicane, allowing the runoff as we know today. And also NASCAR raced around here before. I've never heard of some of these other series, I won't mention, and of course Formula 1 as well. So Matt is on a lap, but he's on the mediums. I don't really want Matt to go on board with a hot lap on the mediums. We'll wait until he's on the soft. Matt comes across the line, and it is going to be 110.8, which puts him in P8. So currently Panos, who I'm tipping to do well in this race, currently sitting P1 at the moment. Risky in second, and our current championship leader in third with a 109.878. So still time to be found, but don't forget they're still on high fuel loads at the moment.
Yeah, and the track still has a bit of time to rub it in. As Panos set another fastest lap of 109.4 on the same tyres. If that doesn't prove the track to rubber ring, then I don't know what.
Maybe. So as the track starts to get more grippier, the better lap times, or maybe the track temperature has increased or cooled down ever so slightly. We don't know, but we're seeing Kev just about to finish his lap on the medium compounded tyres. Maybe the mediums is just for them to get a bit of a feel for the track necessarily. They don't really want to be using their soft tyres out the way, because if they bin it on their soft runs, then they don't have enough softs to complete their final run. But sometimes you would want to start on the softs right away, because if you bin it on your final lap, then that's it. And that is why we're seeing the likes of Pete on 2-lap-old mediums, but he's going into the pits, and I do believe he's going to select the soft compounded tyres as well. And Kev has not set a representative lap time, but he's gone already for about 1.5 seconds quicker than his previous first sector as he heads towards, I'm just trying to think of what corner it is, turn 8, I believe, and now heading towards the kink of turn 9. Iceman, the Canada merchant in this lobby, is currently sitting provisional pole 109.2.
Do a hot lap with him, you know.
And Kev has gone 8 seconds faster than sector 2. So that was, I think, sector 2 was where he binned it earlier. So, but he's looking a bit more comfortable heading towards. There's a few people struggling, I think, at the moment around here. And I love Canada on this game more than any other game, but I know some drivers don't. It was almost an invalidation for Kev. He's got to be careful. He comes across the line, and it's going to be a 111.8, which only puts him 13th fastest. But on the mean, that's not too bad. Who else is on the lap? We've got a Red Bull of Vitinho, and we also got a Williams as well. He might be on his out lap though, but Vitinho comes across the line, and it is going to be a 112.1. So not the fastest I've seen him. I know he can go quicker, and I know you got Tone. Yeah, I think it is Matt, I think, who set a lap, but he did not improve. He was 3/10 down, so he currently stays in P9. Interestingly, they're still doing the tactic of staying out, but I'm guessing not many drivers have practiced. Usually that's a sign if they're on 3-lap-old mediums, that's a sign that they haven't done much practice, maybe. But we'll see.
Maybe, yeah. I was just going with Patino's lap at exit of 9. He literally half spun, so there's no surprise there. Well, this is a second to gain on Patino's lap, so he may be staying out to do one more lap. But the Aston Martin of Risky is currently on the lap. See if we can maybe have an Aston Martin 1-2, but Panos always pulls something out of the bag, so keep an eye on Panos.
Yeah, I think a few people took advantage of last week in Baku, if you watched last week, of people crashing, and that allowed some people to make their way up the order, of course. And I know Risky would want to have a better result than last week as he comes towards the final few corners of turn 13 and 14. Almost hits the wall of champions as he comes across the line. 109.598, he's 2/10 faster than his previous best. Does not beat Panos and does not make it an Aston Martin 1-2 yet. Panos is about to start his flying lap at the moment. I was on board with Risky actually. He was fastest in the final sector, so his final sector is quickest out of anyone. Pete just passed the hairpin of turn 10 and 11, and don't forget there's a DRS straight coming up here. There's quite a few DRS zones. There's 3 in total. One between turn 7 and 8, one at the start finish straight, and then one between just at the start of turn 12 and turn 13 as Pete just gone past. Now, Pete's lap is looking actually pretty good as he comes across the line at 109.635, 3/10 quicker than his previous best, just beats his teammate by about 1/10 as his teammate goes quicker. And anyone else about to finish a lap? I think one of the Williams is, and someone has spun, that's a Haas. But Ryan Berry goes 7th fastest. So times are ramping up a little bit as Risky's going again. Nope, he's going into the pit.
About to finish his lap here.
Panos is the current.
A bit deep.
Oh, that was a bit too deep into the final corner. I don't think it's going to be pole, but saying that, he'll probably prove me wrong. He could have been in the 108s for that lap if he didn't go too deep into that final corner. But yeah.
Sorry, Bess. Just going back on Risky's lap, the sheer commitment he had in the last corner, he absolutely sent it, and no surprise he has the fastest last sector. He rode a lot of curbs, so I don't know if his car is a lot softer, which allows him to ride curbs a bit more. But yeah, Panos easily another 2 to 3 tenths to find after that last corner.
Definitely, and I think one thing that we forgot to mention as well, that if Hayden and Vitinho are right, which they should be, because if not, then they owe me and Matt a pizza, they may have a wet setup on their cars, so their lap times may not be faster than what they see in time trial, because in time trial they have dry setups as someone has gone for a spin in the Ferrari. Move out the way, my friend, and he does, which is good. But yeah, pretty much all these drivers, if they look to the weather forecast, will have wet setups on if it's a full wet race. So that is something to take into consideration. We may not see everybody in the 108s or 9s more than anything. We may just see people a few tenths slower than what they are normally in the dry. So that is something to consider. That's why a few more people are struggling, because you can't have a dry setup on a wet race. It's just difficult. As someone has retired in this session, that is Newgarden. I don't know why.
He retired in the pits and now he's coming out on track. His AI has now decided to come out on track when he's retired. So I'm going to ride on board with Ahmed as Ben apparently sets... Oh yeah, for some reason I thought someone was in the 108. Yeah, Ben's now just gone quickest. Yeah, Newgarden is retired at the side of turn 2.
Yeah, oh, and Ahmed has binned his in-lap, I believe, but at least he gets to go again on another lap soon. He doesn't have long to get into the pits, my friend, so as long as he gets into the pits within a few minutes, he should be absolutely fine as well. Lee is another driver, I think, who needs to step up his game this week. He hasn't set a representative lap time yet as well. We do have a full lobby now. Cliffy has joined, and I have to say, I've seen his onboard laps around Canada, and he is quick, so watch out for him. But I've spoken to him before, and he's not as confident, so maybe he's playing down his expectations. So we were 19 at the start of the lobby, now we're on 20 with Cliffy that's just joined, and he's already getting some laps in straight away, and he's already looking confident through the throttle as he makes his way towards turn 7. He's purple in sector 1. But he's going to start sector 2 very badly as he's binned it. So an early trip to the pits for him.
Yeah, Matt has just been held up on his hot lap here by Maverick, who I think is a debutant tonight. But I think Maverick's actually on a hot lap too. So
no, he's invalidated, Maverick.
Has he? Yeah, Maverick isn't backing out, so I don't think Matt is going to be too happy about this. Yeah, Matt is not going to be happy one bit, so I think that'll definitely get investigated.
That'll be investigated by the stewards after the race, because qualifying incidents can be investigated, of course. So Matter will have to set a lap one final time, and Maverick, I think, will have to go into the pits very quickly. So will Cliffy come in? Because I think he must have got severe damage. Yes, he does come in. I wonder if he's going to do a last to first challenge. I won't be surprised if he does that. Yellow flagging set to do. That's just probably one of the Alpines or Williams moving out the way. Yes, it is Ryan Berry moving out the way for Lee, even though Lee's on his in lap. But common courtesy, of course. They're both doing a gentleman's favour. They both think that they're on their flyers, but they're not. But that's the way to do it sometimes. If you're not sure, move out the way anyway, and you won't get penalised. Simple as that. So everybody, I think, we've got Panos, Hayden, Kyle, and we've got Ryan Berry as well. They're about to start their final laps early on, but at least they get the track to themselves and they don't have to worry about the traffic going in at the end of the pit lane, hopefully. And I can't see how long we got left in the session because there's still yellow flags in sector 3, so I think someone might have run out of fuel. That's probably why it's still yellow flag in sector 3. But hey ho, as I think Tony is going to be the...
Panos.
Oh, I think it was Panos who's invalidated turn 1. Early place to invalidate, to be honest. Hopefully, and don't forget, it is a 4-wet race, so you won't be using the soft tyres at the start. So if I was him, it'll be too late to go into the pits and then set one final lap, 'cause it's too... You can't do that. So he may save a bit of battery, which he's doing at the moment, but then he'll go and for one final push lap, and he knows that he can go out again, knowing that the softs won't be in use in the race.
See what Kyle can do. He's just about to end his middle sector because of 109.6. He can go quicker than that, can Kyle? And yeah, he's improving, but really not by much. He doesn't seem to have as much confidence round here, does Kyle. And I found on this year's game, I don't think he's managed to get a hold of how the handling works on this game, because on last year's game he was rapid, but I don't know if he's struggling this year.
Yeah, he might be as well. And Canada is a track where he doesn't like, and he feels like he made mistakes, and he's had horrible flashbacks to a certain league that had a bit of a issue in the pit lane. Not gonna say too much about where he'd been to that. So probably those memories are coming back to bite him right now, as he currently sits in P6 at the moment. As Flex, he's only binned it on his out lap. That's fine. He's only invalidated on his out lap. That's absolutely fine. I'm just seeing who's going to actually start a lap, as Carl is going quicker. As Hayden out of nowhere, a 109.115. Could we see a shot pole position? But with a full wet race, we could see a shock race, but I was not expecting a shot pole position. That will put Panos in under huge pressure, because he thinks, hang on, I shouldn't be the one in third, I should be the one on pole position, because he is closing up to the likes of Mata and Satam in the championship. So let's see how he handles the final sector. Looking good so far. Wall of Champions, he manages that just fine. This is going to be really good. Could he be the first man in the 108? Oh, 109.0. Very, very close, but not close enough. And Panos, someone's invalidated. Who's invalidated? Iceman could not improve, so he's not going to get pole. I'm just trying to see who could go quicker. Maybe Pete, maybe. Unless he's going slower, ready for one push lap. He could go for one push lap, so keep an eye out on him. What about our championship leader? He's going through sector 2. I'm just trying to see anyone that's about to cross the line. It might be Matter, actually, our current championship leader. Well, no, not current championship leader, our reigning champion, sorry. P4, so we can't beat Panos this time right now. We also got Deck and Ryan Berry. First man into the 108, Cliffy. And he did it good when it counted, and that's one lap. It's kind of like one shot qualifying for him, and that was crazy for him. And we've got Panos going in to the pits. Iceman crosses the line anyway, because it's quicker to do that than go into the pits. Risky, his teammate, can he go any better? 109.8, so he's 2 tenths down. Matt Ryan, the creator of the VSL Bingo, he comes across the line, and it is a P15 for him. And we've got Coutinho coming across the line. He's invalidated. That's it, I think, unless Kyle can pull a miracle. Nope, he's going down. So Cliffy, our reserve driver, is on pole position by just under 1/10.
Wow.
Or less than 1/10.
I mean, Cliffy just joins the session late and rocks up and goes, "Oh, hi guys," pops it on pole. Like, just like, to have that skill just to literally pop in and be like, "Oh, hey guys, I'll just take pole position from y'all. Thank you." So, yeah, nice lap there from Cliffy. I was trying to find when Mata was on a lap, but every time I was riding on board with him, we get down in traffic. Oh, it's not really been a clean qualifying from our reigning champion.
Nope, it's not. And if he wants to defend his champion in VSL, he definitely doesn't want to do that by qualifying in 5th. He wants to remain consistent. But anyway, your pole man, Cliffy, by 1/10 of a second, with Panos in 2nd, Hayden in 3rd, Iceman in 4th, Mata in 5th, Flexi in 6th, Kyle in 7th, Risky in 8th, Pete in 9th, Tony in 10th. Then we've got Ahmed in 11th, Ryan Berry in 12th. Then we got Deck, Coutinho, Matt Ryan, Lee, Mike, Kev, Maverick, and then Newgarden. Newgarden and Maverick did not set a lap time. And before we start, the race gives us a great chance to talk about our sponsors, Rogue Energy, which you can find on their website, rogueenergy.com, and you can use the code VSL F1 for 10% off their products. So make sure you check it out. VSL is sponsored by Rogue Energy. And we've also got the drivers' standings up for you. We've got Sam, who is currently leading the way with 75 points. Mata in 2nd on 60. Panos 3rd on 59. Ryan Berry 4th on 41. Carl is 5th on 35. Deck is 6th on 31. Tony is 7th on 27. We've got Jamie, our reserve, on 26. Iceman in 9th on 20, joint with Cliffy. And then we've got Pete on 18. Kieran on 15. Yuri on 13. Hayden on 12. Risky on 11. Kev on 10. Coutinho on 10 as well. Newgarden on 10. Lee on 9. And Mike with 5. And then we got Ahmed and some more other drivers who haven't scored many points this season in there too. And the Constructors Championship I was about to go to my Algarve, but realised I haven't talked about the Constructors. Here we go. Williams are leading on 111 points. McLaren in 2nd on 93. Alpine 3rd on 68. While joint 3rd with Ferrari. Alfa Romeo 5th on 57. Aston Martin 6th on 51. Red Bull 7th on 23. Mercedes 8th with Mercedes along with Haas, 20 points. And 10th is AlphaTauri with only 1 point to their name. So that is the Drivers and Constructors Championships before tonight. This was after Baku. And the intermediate tyres, should they use those, will be last 19 laps. The full wet last 24 laps, and if it's going to be a full wet race with the full wet tyres used for the entirety, it's going to be a one-stop race. But you can, in theory, if you wanted to, go for the whole race if you wanted. The game will let you, but I don't think you can do that in terms of the lifespan. So full wets will last 24 laps, the same amount of time as the medium compound of tyres, and there's already a lot of standing water on the track, so I wouldn't want to be those drivers racing tonight.
Not at all, but looking at spectator cam at the moment, from what you can see, it looks like it's full wets, not just intermediates, full wets. So we could be wrong, because we've known on spectator cam it looks wetter than it actually is, so we'll just have to wait and see. It'd be interesting to see what start drivers can get and see if it can keep it out of the barrage, but I can guarantee there will be a safety car.
There was quite a few safety cars last season when I think it was raining for a bit. I think it was changeable conditions, I think, in Canada. There was about 2 or 3 safety cars as well, and there was a few drivers that got lapped too. So it always spices things up when the weather is thrown into the mix. There may be some people that are bad in the wet and good in the dry. But there might be some people who hate the dry but love the wet. To be honest, on this game for me, apart from the likes of Singapore and Monaco and Baku, I like the wet on this game. It's very, very nice. But there are just certain tracks where I absolutely hate it. So the drivers are about to get started with their formation lap. The brollies are up. I've got mine up as well. He's absolutely chucking it down.
Don't do it inside. That's bad luck.
Yeah, well, I was only joking. Figure of speech. Anyway, we have got the tyres up, and no surprise, everyone's on the same. So it's going to be the first race in a while where everyone's going to be on the same starting tyre, same starting strategy. So who knows what could happen as well. Turn 1 is going to be a nightmare in the wet conditions. That's one of the action zones which I highlighted earlier on. One of the most prominent overtaking zones around this lap, and could often be, as Matt Ryan has got disqualified, tut, from the formation lap, not from the race, of course. But as people like to take risks, there could be some incidents involved. So the drivers have been warned to brake a little bit earlier into turn 1, and they should be absolutely fine as well. So, but yeah, that's going to be very, very tricky when there's rain involved. But it's hard to predict with this wet weather who I think is going to win this race. So I'm not going to say anything. You guys can say in chat, and I'll blame you if you jinx the drivers. Guys in chat, just let us know.
Very, very wet out there. I'm glad I'm over here.
I think Cliffy's already keen to get this race underway by the looks of things, and there's a few drivers that haven't even made it past turn 8 yet. So the drivers are going to be there for a long while, and I think about Matt Ryan and Lee being disqualified, Matt, their tyres are going to be super cold, and especially on this game and last game, if you don't warm your tyres up in the wet, you're going to probably end up in this bin, like, straight away. So good luck to Matt Ryan and Lee, and also good luck to the leaders as well. There's going to be waiting a long time for some of the drivers to get going.
I reckon we'll be seeing a lot of speeding in the pit lane incidents as well, because you have to, like, brake just as you're going into the last corner as well. So I wonder if any driver's going to try and forget about that and just speed into the pit lane, because I for sure struggle to actually keep within the speed limit of the pit lane here.
Me too. I had a speeding in the pit lane penalty for in my team in Canada, but there were flashbacks, so I cancelled that. But there's no flashbacks here, so if you get a speeding in the pit lane penalty in VSL F1, you get it. End of story. And it won't get removed. That's the only 5-second penalty that can't get removed. So 5 red lights are coming on hopefully very, very soon. Yes, they do. 5 red lights are on. Round 5 of VSL is about to get underway right now. And let's see what the start line is like. Panel's actually got a much better start than Cliffy into turn 1. Let's see what the windy turn 1 and 2 is going to be like. Don't forget there's puddles, so people may go wide a little bit as they head towards turn 2 and 3. Looks pretty clean so far. They must be following our advice in terms of keeping it steady. But what about heading in towards turn 4? Oh, as Panels has cut the corner there, that's going to be a warning. He's probably going to let Cliffy through, which he does. We may fight Cliffy heading in towards turn 6 and 7. Hayden actually had a good start as well, but there's a few people that's dropped places. Matt Ryan, he's looking to go on the left-hand side of Ryan Barry heading through who turned 7. Can he hold his line? No, he's got to, because I know Ryan Berry wants that position so badly. And he covers him off. Matt Ryan, oh, he cuts corner again. Surely he's got to let him through as well, which he does as well, otherwise an illegal overtake. But surprisingly, a very decent start clean start from everybody. And it only has the rain to thank for that as well, because obviously I keep a caution in the rain. And Ryan Berry is up to 12th now.
A great start from Mata. There was Risky already trying to break the toe of Mata there, but Risky making up 2 positions there. One of our highest gainers, the joint highest gainer with Matt Ryan there in P13 as Mata almost loses the rear out of the wall of champions. So it's all about patience right now, just try and keep it on the track and wait for the conditions to improve.
If it does improve, because the conditions at the moment in Canada look horrible. I wouldn't want to be there right now, as Vitinho is having a climbing up places. Matt Ryan is struggling out there with his stroke and AlphaTauri, and he's got Lee to potentially go for the move as well. So You can see who is made for the conditions and who's not. And another Ferrari that's cut the corner in turn 4 and 5 there. So there's a lot of side-by-side battling happening, actually, with Maverick and Kev, as Maverick's up into P18. 2 seconds down the road of Mike, but Kev could fight back, actually. This is the corner where we've seen the likes of Matt Ryan and Ryan Berry fight earlier, but it looks like Maverick and the lobby host has left the session. That's not good. Hopefully no desyncing issues. As Kyle gets past the Ghost of Risky. Luckily, ghosting is on in this league, so if someone leaves the session due to disconnections, then they should be fine. As Panos is finding a good gap to Cliffy, actually, but he can't close in because there's no DRS enabled in the wet weather, so has yellow flag. That's Kev. Kev's binned it past 10, 10 and 11.
Yeah, it looks like he's tried to get into the power and has lost a rear. Then fortunately, so he's going to have to try and gain ground once again.
Yeah, he's just not liking the conditions, isn't he? He was not doing the rain dance. I'm sure certain drivers were doing the rain dance, and it kind of paid off for them. But we'll see as Kev gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles, and he goes into he bins it in the final corner. What is he doing? I wonder if he's got wheel issues or his tyres is probably like 900 degrees right now. Probably stalking hot, and with hardly any traction, it's not going to work. As Vitinho is looking to cast the Ghost of Risky as well. He's up to 11. We got Ahmed in there for company as well. He's going to get a bit of a tow for Risky, so that's going to help as well. We got Sam. Actually, Flexi
going down the inside of Ahmed.
Ahmed's going to go for a move then. Oh, here we go, Deck. Is he going to hold it? Oh, they made contact. That's not what you want to do, my friend. And there's a big pile up at the back. Surely that's a safety car. That's got to be a safety car or a VSC because there's quite a few debris. And, you know, that's definitely going to be looked into the stewards because they lost a chunk of time. I do not know whose fault was that because my camera did not check that, but Ahmed has dropped way down now, and that is a shame.
Look, for me, really, Deck tried to go on the inside, get onto the tractionman, but at the same time, not really leave enough room. Who was it? The other Mercedes? It was Ahmed. I don't think there was a lot of room left there, really. Ahmed could argue, but I don't know. I think after watching the incident back again, are both their on boards, but for me, it looked like Deck squeezed him a little bit. But because of the nature of that exit, you're trying to apply the throttle whilst going around another corner. So I don't know. I'll have to watch that again and but at the moment, it looks like Deck didn't leave him enough room.
By the way, Matt, Risky would want an invite to the lobby, please.
Okie-dokie.
So he's just told me as Kev has retired from the session, and I can't tell if it's in the pit or not. Or he might be stationary. I don't know. Yes, it is in the pits because there's no safety car. Cliffy still leads by 5/10 of a second at 2. Panos in second. Hayden in third as Kev leaves the session in disgust. Flexi in fourth, and we've got Mata and Sam going for a move there. Mata's got a defend attack to the left. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, banging wheels. Iceman could play a backseat role into this as well. Same could Carl, actually. This could be a four-way battle for, I would say, P4 at the moment. I believe Matt's game's crashed, which is kind of annoying. So I'll probably have to send him an invite as well. So I'll do that in just a second. But there's still a battle going on. Very, very tight. Carl is going to try and go for the move on Iceman. Again, a bit of a touch there. It's struggling these conditions to make moves at the moment. So you've got to be committed. If you go for the move, you have to. We've got Carl that stayed in 7th. Could Mata gain a few attempts in the hairpin? We'll have to wait and see into turn 10. Does he fully commit this time? No, he does not. He stays on the back of them at the moment. At least they don't have DRS to worry about. So if you just give me a second, I'm going to invite both Risky and Red Matt to the session, so apologies if you can't see any. Oh, I can't
Yeah.
invite.
Yeah, it said error occurred, then it crashed my game, so I hope it doesn't do it for you.
I can't invite because the game group is closed, apparently.
Ah.
So,
Right,
yes. I don't know what's happened there. Why I can't invite. Risky? That's gonna be frustrating. Very frustrating. But I've got a plan B, so Matt can still see my screen, hopefully. So, just give me a moment. It will have to be in 30 frames per second, because otherwise my stream is going to go absolutely crazy at the moment. Technical difficulties live on stream, folks. You can't get it anywhere else. Hopefully you can see my screen, Matt.
I can see it, yeah.
Brilliant. So at least you could see the action there as well. We always like to think of plan Bs here at VSL. Hopefully it doesn't mess up with my bitrate, but if it does, I'll just have to turn down the quality of some sort, but we'll see. Well, Napsic for 35 anyway, and I think we're seeing Maverick going into the pits. Dex also in the pits to change his front wing. He's on the full wets. Obviously, you can't go on any other tire at the moment. I'm just looking at the ERS map. Everybody's on around about the 70%, and I found on this game in the wets, it doesn't use up as much of your battery in the full wets.
No, it doesn't really, and it's been like in many games as well, where if you're using your ERS, it's easy to recoup it back into the batteries in the wet because you're constantly like feathering the brake as well as the throttle. So you're not really using as much like compared in the dry, which I believe I can't remember the percentage full throttle around here, but it's quite hard to manage the ERS when it is dry and we've got yellow flags.
That is, I don't know. That is a McLaren, I think. That could be, well, actually no, it's not a McLaren. But it was somewhere in that area. It might just be a bit of an issue, but we do have one yellow flag. That is Mike that's had a bit of a spin. They're liking the spin, I think, and turn around the turn 4 area, don't they? They just get on the power too early. To be fair, I do that on this game quite a lot around tracks such as Canada, Hungary as well, where I spin quite a lot. So not really surprised, in particular in these wet conditions. Panos could not close in on Cliffy at the moment. Closest battle on track is between the two Alpine drivers. I'm sure, hopefully the team boss let them race, but if I was them, I would let them race. Anyways, it's too early in the season to imply team orders, but it may get to that situation later on in the season where maybe the one furthest in the championship may be forced to let someone else through, but they are allowed to race. Coutinho's also in the back of this as well. Don't forget he is a reserve driver for this league, but he's doing quite well. And don't forget the top 12 do score points in this league. It's not the top 10, so every point counts as long as you finish, of course.
Yeah, it's really frustrating now not being in the session because I can't even look around on the game to see where other battles are happening on track. And currently I'm watching a stream that's like in 8 frames per second right now, but that's nothing you can do. As we look further down, Ahmed and Mike seem to be battling, or is the Haas pitted? Yeah, the Haas is pitted. So again, I'm just going for what I'm seeing, what you lot are seeing on the screen as well. So I just have to persevere for today, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's annoying that we can't. I've never experienced that glitch in my life that you can't invite because the game group is closed. That's just. It might be because that it's a closed group. I don't know.
Maybe because the Risky who left? Risky left and he was the host, so maybe it's...
Right, okay. I see what you mean. So, Risky was actually meant to race as well, and he's not gonna... We tried, Matt tried getting him back in, I tried getting him back in, and no luck, so... Yeah,
Risky, I tried inviting you and you crashed my game, so... Thanks.
Yes, and it just doesn't, the game just doesn't like Risky at the moment, doesn't?
No, not one bit.
No, but hey-ho. But if it was a dry session, people would have probably pitted for the mediums now, but since it's a wet session, they're staying out for a little bit longer. Don't forget these tyres can last for about 20 4 laps. And the warmer the tyres get in the wet, the much better it becomes in terms of grip and potentially getting moves done. So I think drivers will start to be a little bit more comfortable, just like Panos is right now, currently sitting in P2. I might see if I can change to 60 frames per second, because otherwise it may be a bit choppy. So I'll do that once we've seen this battle, as Panos is seeing if he could get a move into turn, final corner, as he is looking quite comfortable at the moment. He's lost a bit of time in that exit at the moment, so he's getting a bit on straight lines, so this could be the move he's looking for. Send the fastest lap of the session, so he is quicker than Cliffy, but he just can't get past unless Cliffy's trying to leave the space on Panos, so Cliffy knows that he's there, but he just can't get past, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just the nature. There's no DRS now.
Yeah, I'm just changing the string quality. Just give me a second.
It'll be fine. It doesn't really make a difference, Jess, at all.
Because Discord is being Discord.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like that when I watch streams on Discord as well. Even though it's good on their end, on my end, it's just choppy. So, apologies that you have to live with that. As Pete goes into the pits, that is early. I wonder if for a change of front wing, I will have to check the pit stops. Now I have to look at Race Director because I'm the only commentator in the session. Yes, it is a front wing change. All 4 pit stops in this race is for front wing damage, so I wonder where he pit that. It was probably the yellow flag caused in turn 7 earlier, which brought out the need for Pete to pit, I think. So, yeah, he's 12 seconds down from lead, but if he finishes where he is now, he's in the points, so he can't complain.
Yeah, sorry, I do apologise. I'm still trying to join the session, but I think I'm going to have to give up here. But, yeah, closest battle on track at the moment, looking at the deltas, is Iceman and Kyle. Actually, Kyle looks like he's actually really close now as they're going side by side, I believe. Yes, they are. Can Kyle stick it round the outside? Can he get the throttle down at all? Are we still going side by side? We are indeed. Can he go around the outside? He does indeed. What a move there, son. I hope that can now get you up the field and on to Mata, who just hasn't had the pace on this year's game so far.
No, he's not. And he's already catching up to Sam, though. But again, I don't think he'll just get past him. There's still a lot of standing water. Maybe he just doesn't like the rain on this game so far. So I think we could see, I know it may be too early to tell, but I think we may see a new champion. But I'm not going to say anything more. Now, I'm just looking at Mata's ERS. He's using way more ERS than anybody else. Same with Carl as well. Iceman's on 70 and he's on the back of him. So you could see another move from the Merchant of Iceman, who is looking for a statement to climb higher in the championship and help Aston Martin beat Williams. But if Iceman, you know, Risky's not in the session anymore, it's Iceman that's going to be the sole point scorer so far. It's going to be harder than it looks, I think, as we are on, I believe, lap 12 out of 35 now. Cliffy leads by 1.5 seconds. Ryan Berry and Tony are fighting once again. And we could see another move maybe from Ryan Berry to get into 8th place potentially. Some inter-team rivalry going on between the two of them as they make their way towards turn 1. Again, not quite close enough. Penalties could come into effect here. It's like a penalty central trap, but around these wet conditions, it's a lot harder to get penalties. Peter's got a 3-second time penalty, and I'm just seeing Ryan Berry getting so squirmy on exit, which was not good at all. I'm surprised we haven't seen any safety cars yet, and it ran on lap 12. Touch wood. I'm touching wood.
But I'm just going on about Cliffy, who's just set the fastest lap of the race, actually. Now he's trying to create a gap on Panos now. Is this a sign that track conditions are improving a little bit, or it's just a dry line appearing on the track? So if it is dry, I'm guessing drivers will risk going on to intermediates, but we'll just have to wait and see, because I don't think the wet tyres wear that much. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. But I did say it was going to be full wet for the entire race, but I'm not entirely sure. We don't get proper weather forecast sent to us, but I don't think it might be improving just a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to warrant any change of tyres or anything like that. So there's no way anyway. Ryan Berry's in the pits, and I believe it will be for another set of 4 wets. That could potentially get to the end of the race. He's got the yellow warning light as well, so he's got to be a bit wary on fuel. I wonder if some drivers have underfueled their car, thinking it's going to be a safety car due to experience of the last season where there was like 2 or 3. So, and if there is no safety car, I wonder if they have to do a bit of fuel saving at the end, which is harder on this game. You can't just turn it to lean or put it to rich if you want to burn some fuel. You have to calculate your fuel well, and you got to pretty much fuel if there is no safety car. Yellow flag, Ferrari. That's Lee. That is turn 6 and 7 where he's binned it, unfortunately. And he's into the grass. He's doing a Valtteri Bottas, and he's got a 3-second penalty.
Unbelievable. We could argue that he's done that to keep out of the way of another driver, but yeah, not ideal start really for Lee. He really is struggling. Again, another driver who's struggling on this year's game, because he used to be rapid on like the earlier F1 games, and now he just can't get hold of it. And look, his car's all over the place. He's cooked his rear tyres.
Yeah, his tyres must be scorching hot, like I said earlier. And if you spin for more than like 5-10 seconds, then yeah, your tyres are definitely going to overheat. As Coutinho has picked up a penalty. Every time I say there's not many penalties, they now get penalties. So I won't say any more about penalties, and hopefully they'll stop getting penalties now. Oops, I said the P word again. Sorry. It's probably going to be my fault if they get the P word, but there we go, not saying anything more, as Panos got one. So if it stands, Cliffy would get the win and Hayden would get P2. I have to say, Hayden is holding his own out there in a net P2 right now. He's qualified quite well. He even said in the chat, I'll get the chat up and you can probably see if you're watching this live. I do recommend you do watch it live, because that is where you get the better experience. And he said to me, I'm happy with that lap, and he's happy with these conditions as well. I thought he would struggle a bit more due to the lack of experience, but he's showing the bad boys how to do it in these wet conditions. And he's 4.3 seconds clear of Flexi at the moment, so if he keeps up his pace and saves his fuel, then he's on for a good result.
Yeah, I must admit, if I was in their shoes, I would have actually taken some more fuel out of the car. But again, we thought in Monaco, there'll be a safety car. There wasn't. So I don't know what it is about this league. Like, drivers actually retiring in safe locations. Like, it's on increase, I think, is the safety car as well in the lobby settings, and the safety car just doesn't want to come out.
Yeah, it's like I was racing in Monaco, I think the same week as VSL, I think the day before. And there was many times, it was on Simulation Damage, by the way, where we thought, surely there's got to be a safety car when there was a big crash, and there wasn't. And there was only one in the whole race, and I think it was lap 20-something, I can't remember, which baffles me to this day, even though it was on increase. So it may just be that Cody's and EA have probably decreased the frequency a little bit, because it might have been a bit too much, but that's something they'll probably think about in future patches. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, as let's see any more battles. Now I have to be the one that checks battles, because I'm the only one in the lobby, which is it's annoying that glitches happen like that, unfortunately. But I think it's a Sony issue, not Cody's issue. Here we go. Here's Vitinho on Tony into the hairpin. He looked committed, and he was like, right, I'm going for that move. You're not letting me pass, Sunshine. Well, you're not going past, Sunshine. I'm going through. Panos in the pit. Undercut central for Panos. So all this trigger Cliffy, Hayden, Flexi, Matter into the pit lane, as Panos just gets ahead of ERT Kyle then. And I wonder if Tony's going to stay on Vitinho's slipstream for the rest of this lap. I'm just checking penalties right now. They're all on the same, apart from Pete, Ahmed and Mike, who are on 6 and 9 seconds respectively.
Did Panos pit?
Yes, he did.
Right, okay, I was just looking at the 13-second gap between Cliffy and Hayden. All it will take now is a VSC, as now Sam gets a 3-second time penalty.
Now there's loads of penalties that are showing. Lee's got another one. Yeah, it is easy to get penalties on this game. in Canada. I think one of the other track is Russia, USA, Mexico. I can't think of Austria. I think I can't think of any other tracks, but these are the tracks that I know is hard. It's easy to get penalties. Anyway, Panos has gone for the move on Mata, but that's just an easy move because Mata hasn't pitted yet. And interestingly enough, the top 3 stay out. And I've got some notes about the pit lane loss around this track. 17 seconds, so I'll just look at the gap to leader actually. If oh, there we go. The gap between 4th and the leader is 17.6. So if he gains 5 tenths, Panos will be in the lead of this race. So Cliffy ideally needs to pit now.
He does indeed, but I think he's trying to stay out and risk maybe a VSC, as we saw another yellow flag in Sector 2 earlier. I think that may have been Lee once again. It's actually coming up to lap, I believe. Is it Acorn and Lee?
And it probably might be the ghost of Risky as well.
Ooh.
Yes, there's ghost here. Anyway, so what is Cliffy gonna do then? Because he's seen the gap starting to come down. It's gonna be close between him and Panos. So will Cliffy come in? Yes, he does. I think he saw the gap get intensifiedly close, because the longer he stayed out, the more that Panos is gonna be ahead of Cliffy. So as Tony, the other Tony, picks himself a time penalty. So let's watch Panos then. How he's got to get past Sam, otherwise he's going to get held up. It's going to be quite intense as they head toward the pit exit. And I wonder if Cliffy's going to be ahead. Hayden's in as well. So Panos will need to have the best out lap he can. And Cliffy only just gets ahead. But Sam is fighting Panos, and Sam hasn't boxed. But eventually,
Sam will not let him past easy, but never mind, he's just let him past.
Yeah, I wonder if he just wanted to have a big gap between Panos and Cliffy, because the gap now, it was about 8 tenths earlier, is now 2.2.
Yeah, because they're two are battling in the championship now, because Panos isn't that far away actually from the championship. So it's like Mata, Sam and Panos. So Sam sort of wanted to hold Panos up more, because with them penalties, it would then knock him further down if he's held up, because Cliffy is now again 2.3 seconds clear. If anything, I think he's actually gained time now as Cliffy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's gained quite a...
second.
Yeah, so he needs to find, I think, more time as Pete picks one as well. And I think if a safety car comes into fruition, it's going to benefit the likes of Mata, Kyle, Ryan Berry, and Deck and Newgarden, because they haven't picked up any penalties. Now, no Newgarden. I know Newgarden likes to keep it penalty free at the best of times, so he's the one that I think would benefit as well, even though he's in last. Actually, a safety car won't bring him back in contention because he's already a lap down, so it won't benefit him, but it would benefit the guys that are still on the leading lap. As a matter, it's going to try and get past Sam as well. Sam and Mata are braving out the conditions for a few more laps, and I wonder if it is already come back to bite them, because obviously Cliffy and Panos have already pitted and they're going to be comfortably ahead of the likes of Sam and Mata and Iceman. So, and Hayden could be catching up too soon as well, so watch out for Hayden actually in comparison to the likes of Mata and Sam, because I think that is the people Hayden's got to consider right now. But this could be good for Alfa Romeo in the Constructors Championship, with 2 of their drivers currently in the top 10 and are both pitted.
Yeah, I was going to say they've been quite silent this race, actually, just keeping out of trouble, sitting there nice and respectfully in P6 and P7 as Lee picks up another 3-second time penalty. But I think the 2 ghost cars, I believe, are Newgarden and Risky. I don't think Newgarden rejoined the session, did he?
I don't have a clue. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Cliffy's now picked up a 3-second time penalty. I believe Panos has 6 seconds.
So again, that is good at the moment for Cliffy, that he's just got 1, as long as he doesn't get any more. But if Mata catches up to all of them and gets within 3 seconds, Mata wins this race. So Cliffy is going to pray that there's no crashes and there's no safety cars. So same with Panos and same with Flexi. Same with, I think, Iceman and Hayden as well. So I think they're praying to the race director God, so there's no safety car. I kind of wish we could be the ones that control that on the game, but unfortunately Cody's doesn't give us that power yet. Kind of wish it does, but it does not, sadly. But maybe next game, you never know. Maybe just a late update potentially, but we'll see. We'll see, and it could change anything, these penalties as well. And we can't even check the warnings because obviously I don't want to be on race director again. But I think we could see more people go into the pit in a few laps time, or unless they want to brave it out to lap 24 as New Garden's AI, New Garden bot. I can't actually tell if he's still in the session or not. Let's go on board with him actually, as his AI or himself goes out of the pit and he's about to be lapped by Cliffy. And I believe I think he's ghosted, so he's not in the session. So Matter is in the pit. Sam is in the pit as well for his one and only stop. I kind of wish it was a dry session because that would have brought one stop into a two-stop race. But oh well, as Flexi, is he going to come out ahead of Kyle? Maybe. It's going to be tied to turn 2. Kyle's a bit squirmy on exit, so I think this could be a chance for Flexi to get the move into turn 3 and 4. No, Kyle stays ahead. Kyle's undercut worked like a dream. Same with Hayden.
Well, unbelievable. We have to realise it would then come to Sam towards the end of the race because Kyle did pit like around, was it 4 laps early? Yeah, looking at you. There, 4 laps early as Kyle is going at defensive. Here's we have a yellow flag in sector 2. That's a Haas.
That is Mike, I believe, because it's not Cliffy, I don't think. Yes, it is Mike, turn 4. Actually, no, it wasn't turn. Actually, it could be turn 4. It is hard to tell. No, it is not turn 4. It was turn 7. Some of the corners look so similar on this game in the wet. But I just kind of wish there was more battles happening at the moment, but due to the fact it's wet, drivers are keeping it more cautious. But tell that to Sam, he's pushing like a madman.
Yeah, he's trying everything he can to try and get in front of that Alfa Romeo to sort of limit the damage in the championship because Panos will be gaining on him on the championship the way things are going. But I believe Cliffy has 3 seconds worth of penalties. I'm not 100% sure. Is there a way to see that on Spectator? I'm pretty sure.
I can see the amount of penalties, yes. I'll get it up on my screen now.
Yeah, 3 seconds between the top leaders, and Hayden with a 5-second time penalty, so if he has to pit again, that will be a 5-second stop-go. So, yeah, he'll be trying not to pit again.
Yeah, I think if there's a safety car, if I was Hayden, I would box again, just to get rid of that 5 second. I think same with the other guys that have any 5 seconds. I didn't see if anyone else has got any 5-second penalties or something like that. But we're on lap 23, still pretty much the final portion of the race still to go, and still quite a few people yet to make their stops. Stops update. Only Iceman hasn't made his mandatory stop. Everyone else has stopped at least once. Deck has stopped twice, and Mike has stopped 3 times. But there's still the point for the fastest lap up for grabs. As long as you finish, but you're pretty much anywhere really. You don't have to be inside the top 10. So if you finish and get the fastest lap out of anyone in the race today, you get 2 extra points. So I wonder if anyone, I would say Mike, Deck, and maybe Ahmed, if you have nothing to fight for, maybe go for the fastest lap point towards the end of the race. Maybe pit around lap 31 too. Maybe lap 31, because I know some drivers will be lapped. Just get that fast lap point. Sometimes that's what I had to do in some races if I knew I wasn't going to get a point. But I'm still a bit intrigued as to why Iceman has not boxed. Maybe he wants to have more grip towards the end, but as I've seen for most drivers, the newer the tyres are, the less grip you have at the start of your stint. So maybe Iceman's made the wrong decision, but we will know very soon if he goes into the pit. Is he coming in? Let's just go on board with him.
Pit in the wet, do you?
Pardon? You
I don't think you have to pit in the wet, do you?
No, you don't. But
Yeah.
the tyres are, I know from experience, in the full wet, that it doesn't go the full distance, even if you don't have to. So I wonder if Iceman is going for a gamble, but if he sees Hayden and Carl catching, he might pit. I don't know. He's probably going to play it by ear at the moment, as Acol gets a 3-second time penalty.
The Matter and track are looking a bit. Matter and Sam are quite close on track for a couple of seconds there, but I think Ben will be looking for a battle as I've just dropped my controller. That really hurt. Ow.
I did that on Monday. I didn't like that one bit. Don't know why. Hey. But it happens. Oh, Matt's struggling a bit in these conditions, I think. Past turn 7 and has a bit of, I wonder if there's a bit of wind there on the game. I don't know if there is a bit of, you can tell if there is a bit of wind, but I don't know. That's probably why a few people might be struggling. I think the temperatures are a lot colder as well, so that their tyres will be cold as well. And yes, the rule is that you do not have to pit in the full wet if you don't want to. But Iceman has disproved our theory and he's decided that he's going to be, I think he saw that Hayden was catching. So he was like, you know what?
Car in the wall.
Oh, did he hit the wall, did he?
No, there was a car in the wall, the blue car.
Deck, it's Deck. Safety car. After 23 laps, we've got a safety car. So maybe that's why Iceman's boxed, or did he box? Or he might have saw a yellow flag and then he was thinking about not boxing, but he realised he's boxing. So he's still coming out in P7. He's going to be on the fresher grip. Watch out for Iceman at the end of the race. As Ryan Berry, Pete, Tony, will the guys outside like the top 10 think about boxing for the fastest lap? I would.
Is anyone there ready for intermediates?
Ooh. No. Everyone's that had just pitted has gone for 4 wets.
No, all of you go on intermediates. Go on.
Someone go on inters, please. Doesn't look that bad, to be fair. It's a lot better than it was, but they're still standing water. So that's probably why they're still on the 4 wets. So it might be on the cusp, actually. So I know Matt Ryan likes to go for bold strategies. Go on. Boo. You traitor. You like go for bold strategies, Matt. Ryan. Cliffy's in.
Interesting. Is he on the full wets?
He is on the full wets. He might want to be on the... But he's a reserve driver and he can't become champion unless you're full-time. So why not take the risk? And he's got a ghosted car of Lee. And the ghosted cars are not allowed to unlap themselves. So Cliffy's going to be in a pain. And we've got Hayden in. Oh, no. Double stack central is not working on this game.
Hayden had a 5-second stop go and Kyle went to follow him in. Oh, that's
really why teammates should work together and then you don't get those sort of situations. But he probably would have lost more time if he stayed out, so to be fair, he probably had to go in. But we'll see. As most people on fresh tyres, the only driver that stayed in that we need to worry about is Panos. But we're seeing the Aston Martin safety car again, which is good.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, I love it. I love it on this game. It's very nice. I know some people prefer the Mercedes, but
No.
I prefer the Aston Martin, personally. And my favourite colour's green, so there we go. Green's just nice. Maybe that's probably why VSL's green for me. Joking. Safety car's not going to be in for quite a while, as I think we're still waiting for quite a few people to catch up, as Matt Ryan is lapped. But I think Pete is the last car on the lead lap, I think. Let me just have a look at... Oh, as Pete has mowed the grass again. Yes, everyone from Matt Ryan downwards is at least a lap down, and the ghost cars are Risky and New Garden are 2 laps down. So the top 11 are a lap ahead of everybody else. This could be an interesting safety car restart.
Indeed. I'm just curious now what Cliffy will do. He is on 10 laps younger. Wet tyres. Panos is on 11, so he's going to do everything he can to remain in front of the Haas car. And then you got Sam, who's somehow made it up into P3. Mata keeping it clean. So if he keeps within the top 3, he could actually steal a podium here. But then again, you got Ben, who is not that bad around here, so he may put a few surprises, but I think it will all come down to penalties, unfortunately.
Yep, I think it would. And I did say earlier, if there was a safety car, people with penalties will probably be like, oh no. And watch out for Mata. Could it be on for a win in Canada due to him having no penalties? Well, we are running out of laps, so it could happen. Carl has not caught up to the safety car yet, but if he does, and the safety car does not go in this lap, yep, he's caught up now, but he's, Carl, you're not meant to overtake a ghost car. Will he get an illegal overtake for that? I don't know. Oh, he's let him through. Okay, that's fine. That is weird, because I think in some cases you're not allowed to do that. I'm just checking to see if the safety car is going in. No, the safety car light is still on, so it's going to be in for one lap. Oh yeah, it's still waiting for the likes of Ryan Berry, Tony and Pete to catch up. And I think it's going to get to a point where the game's like, screw it, Pete's too far behind and they're not going to bother. But I think it should be in next lap, I think. So well, hopefully Pete can catch up, because otherwise Pete's race is going to be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, indeed. I'm surprised he didn't really pit, to be honest with you, now, because like he's the last car on the lead lap now, so he's really got nothing to lose now, really, in all honesty. Apart from a couple of points, but you can always try and get fastest lap. But Cliffy on them fresh set of wet tyres, I think he will be the one getting the fastest lap here. But as we wait, I believe the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. But yeah, will Pete pit? I doubt it, because he'll need to try and catch up back into the pack. So yeah, how many laps we've got now? Is it 7 laps to go? So it's basically going to be a sprint race as Hayden picks up another 5-second penalty.
Hayden!
Could that be appealed? We'll have to wait and see. So it could be possibly a little desync or just a little nudge, but
I think these type of, I think it depends on the race director, and when we look at their footage, we can see if we can remove that penalty, but we'll find out anyway. Safety car is in this lap, and that means P is not able to catch up, unfortunately, but at least he doesn't have to worry about the safety car shenanigans and the safety car restart. So in a way, if there's a lot of people winning it, he could gain positions at this rate. So let's go on board with Panos, who is going to be our de facto safety car leader. Apart from Sam and Mata, everyone else on newer tyres. So here comes Panos. Brilliant restart. Everyone else was caught napping. Cliffy just didn't know what to do at that point. So Panos leads then from Cliffy, and Sam's got a good restart as well. But he's got to pass the ghost car of Ahmed, but that should be a little bit easier to do so far. As Kyle cuts the corner. You got to be careful, Kyle, with the ghost cars. I think that's one of the Red Bulls, actually, of Vitinha that's trying to get past Kyle. Yes, it is. As I'll get the gap to interval up just a second so I can see the battles going on. There's going to be more battles on track now due to the fact that we got a sprint, pretty much a sprint race still to go. So I think the ones that could lose out are the ones that have got more than 6 seconds worth of penalties. So that'll be Vitinho, Tony, Pete, Lee, Ahmed and Mike. Iceman as well, because he's on 8 seconds, but I know there's certain people that could get their 5-second time penalty removed. Here comes, I thought I saw a battle going on at front, but I did not. And Panos and Cliffy are they're just a step ahead of the rest of the field right now. Even though Cliffy did not get the best of restarts, he had a better restart than the guys behind him, whereas Panos, he's just... I think he may have timed this right by not pitting, but we'll see, as Cliffy is already getting a bit on him, so, you know, you can't become complacent around in these wet conditions, because even if you're leading now, you've got to be leading at the checker flag in order for the points to count.
Vitinho now looks like he's getting quite close to Kyle now, but again, Cliffy, I thought he'd be cleared of Panos a lot sooner than this, you know, because he's on the fresh set of wet tyres. But going back early to the restart on Kyle, he sort of went off the track and then rejoined and then forced the Red Bull of Vitinho off into the grass. So I don't think Vitinho's 100% happy with that, but 5 laps to go, still anything can happen.
Yeah, still plenty of things that can go right and still plenty of things that can go wrong, as Murray Walker likes to say. So make sure you stay tuned into the end. Don't forget, if you do like our channel, subscribe to us at VSL_F1 and turn notifications on. And make sure you watch us live, because I know some of you that watch it like I did, pre-recorded. Oh, we got a move from Vitinho on Kyle. Oh, we don't want the same thing to happen as what we saw with Deck earlier. But luckily, we did not get the repeat there. Oh my God, that was closest thing ever. And I think Vitinho is going to take the biggest risk ever. He's going to go for the send of dreams here, but Kyle closes the door on him and decided to not leave the space there. And Kyle's like, thank you very much, I'm keeping that position. As Cliffy is lighting the timing towards the light, and he's already 5 tenths behind Panos.
He's found the grip now, the tyres are coming alive now, Panos tyres are now slowly finding the end of life. I believe now he's 14 laps now on them wet tyres. We have a little bit of a desync, unfortunately. But looking further down back, Mata still, was he 8 tenths behind Sam? So the way that's going, Mata will be on the podium and Sam will go down to P3. As you look behind, is that just a ghost car overtaking him? Look, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is a ghost car. And
yeah.
And I don't forget, the top 11 are on the lead lap. And I think Pete has caught up to Tony as well. So everyone else from like P12 down did a lap down. So that is why you'll see the ghost car. Maybe Mata has found a bit more grip now to try and get past Sam. He's looking very, very good. He's using his overtake mode now. He's got plenty of deployment actually. So if I was him, I would use it now. But I don't think he's confident to get past in this final corner. So maybe turn 1. I think he'll have a try potentially. Hey, no! He's binned it on the opposite side of the wall of champions. Not quite the wall of champions, my friend. If you want to bin it in the wall of champions, it's the right-hand side, my friend. Oh, Mata.
It happened in Baku. He lost the rear end, and now he's lost it again here in Canada. What is it with that car racing with the rear end looking so twitchy? And this is not what Mata wants in his defence title. Probably the most challenging title he's had to defend yet. Really.
Yeah, but see the triple chat, and he's cut the corner, so he's going to get a penalty. Probably a warning, most likely. I'm surprised he didn't get a 10-second for that.
Yeah, well, maybe the game's actually got some heart and
some
sympathy.
Oh no, Cliffy! Cliffy's got another penalty. That means that's Panos' victory in the bag. Even if Cliffy gets past, he's got to be 3 seconds clear of Panos in order to win the race. So Cliffy needs to get a move on.
Panos, though, close to getting another
penalty. Mike DNF'd.
Great.
I think, did he retire on track? Or did he retire in the pit lane?
Retired in the pit lane as he was exiting the pit lane. So it's going to be interesting. See, I don't know. Because when I was looking on the map, he retired in the pit lane.
All right, okay, that's all right then. So hopefully his AI car goes away as Panos and Cliffy go past it. As we do see the yellow flag, which is, yeah, it is AI car's gone. So that is good news for all of us. 3 laps to go of this Canadian Grand Prix. We hope you're enjoying it so far. And we've pretty much lost 5 drivers from this race so far. And I have to say, this is probably the cleanest Canada races I've ever seen, apart from a few questionable incidents. But Lee is very close to being disqualified as Mata does get... Oh. Pardon?
21 seconds worth of penalty. I don't think I've ever seen penalties that high.
Mexico last season.
Ah, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Well, I think I can't remember if Mexico was a pre-season race or no. Actually, no, that was round 1. As Mata did pit as he wants to go for the fastest lap point, which, to be fair, that was the right decision to make. He knows he's not going to fight for it too much, and yeah, there is certain games that you struggle, and Mata seems to be struggling on that game more than anyone else. And Cliffy, I think he just has to settle for P2, because even if he gets past Panos, it will be so difficult just to gain 3 seconds in 1 lap. I can't do it, and I'm most certainly that Cliffy can't do it. As we do have another penalty from someone. I didn't see who it was.
What we could see though is Cliffy putting Panos under pressure and pressure Panos into making a mistake or cutting a corner. All it will take is 1 more penalty for Panos, and then the race is on again. But to battle that much, Sam may come back into congestion with a 3-second penalty. But the only driver without a penalty is Kyle. So where could this put him? This could actually maybe... Could it put him on the podium? He could actually end up on the podium here if he keeps within close distance of Hayden. So Kyle's kept it clean.
Ooh.
And, you know, he can end up P4 at least here.
Yeah, he could. He could be P4. As Peter's got another penalty. He's on 15 seconds. He's got the second most of penalties at the moment. And I think this track could award people with no penalties. And I think Kyle could be the one to benefit from it. So Kyle could get... I'm almost certain he could get P... He could get P3. He could get the podium, yeah? You might be right. As Vitillo sets the fastest lap. So at the moment the fastest lap goes to him.
Ooh.
So he would get the amount of points for 7 plus 2. As the fastest lap point is 2 points. As
we're on the final lap here, aren't we? Crikey.
Oh my, oh we are. I thought we were lap 34 or something. This race has flown by, but I've never commentated on a full work race in ages, and it's definitely throw a spanner in the works. Shame that Cliffy got that extra penalty, because otherwise the battle for the lead would have been a bit more intense. But Cliffy's still pushing. He wants to go for the win on track, but if I was Cliffy, I do not want to take any risks. So if I were him, probably stay behind and try and make sure the gap to Flexi stays within that 8 seconds so he can keep P2. And yeah, he's picked his battles and the race is over him. So let's go on board with our eventual race winner. So Panos comes across the line and he's closing on into the championship. He wins in Canada. He's weaving everywhere. Cliffy in second. Flexi comes across the line in P3. Iceman in... Oh, Kyle, yeah, we were right. So Kyle gets the podium. Brilliant result for him. Sam 4th, Hayden 5th, Iceman 6th, Coutinho in 7th. No, Ryberry 7th, Coutinho 8th, Tony 9th. And we'll just see if Mata gets the fastest lap. According to the timings, it belongs to Coutinho at the moment. But it could be snatched at the last minute by either Pete or Mata. It's not going to be Pete, because he got a corner cut. Oh, he missed it by 2 attempts. So Coutinho does get the 2 extra points.
Yeah, well, I must say though, Kyle, fantastic there in P3, but Iceman got that 5-second time penalty during that safety car. Now, it could be a removal of the 5-second penalty, but we'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, Kyle kept it clean and he's gotten himself up there. So they've got no head, whoever it is, in second place.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a good race as well. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And oh, is it me or is the Haas driver Kyle have no head? What the hell? What the hell? I got how this thing, I don't know. Anyway, we got Panos who wins from Cliffy, Kyle, Flexi, Hayden, Iceman, Ryan Berry, Bettinio, who gets the 2 extra fast lap points. Bettinio from 14th to 8th, by the way. And from Ryan Berry, 12th to 7th. Brilliant stuff from them. Tony, Matta, Pete, and Matt Ryan get the final point scorers. And then we got Ahmed, Lee, who are lap down. And your retirement plus disconnects are Risky, Newgarden, Mike, Acorn, Maverick, and Kev. And that has been the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm just looking at the calendar to see where we are next, but I believe if we are following the calendar, I believe we're on a break week next week. I'll need to double check because I might be wrong. I will check actually. I'll get the calendar up on my OBS because hopefully the calendar is not updated, but yes, we're on a week break, I believe. So there we go. So we're not racing next week, but I'll need to double check that. But when we do come back, we will be at France at Paul Ricard, and we've both raced there before in quite a few times, and it is quite an interesting track in terms of track limits, but also there's hardly any walls either. So I think expect a lot more risk in France when we visit it in just under 2 weeks' time.
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers will feel after a refreshing break in calendar. But it's, to be fair, for a race, it was actually not a bad race, in all honesty. Hopefully next time we come to Canada, it will be dry. But yeah, thanks for everyone for watching today's race. Fully enjoyed it.
Yeah, and apologies about the technical issues, but Matt was still able to see the action thanks to my Discord, and the stream didn't lag any time. So next time, if it happens again, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Let's hope it doesn't happen to me, because otherwise we'll be completely screwed. But anyway, I've been JessGames95. Matt has been Red Matt. We will see you next time for round number 6. I need to quickly look at it there for the French Grand Prix. Goodbye.